Would you have rather not met them at all or be okay with how it ended? Would you have rather say, I wish I never met them and it came true? I've heard that saying a lot before when people would say, I wish I never met them after they get discarded, after they get hurt, after the relationship ends in total disaster. People often say, I wish I never met them. But here's the thing, if you never wished to see them or never wished to meet them or fall in love with them, you don't become the person that you are right now. You don't become the person that you want to be. Or would you have rather stayed on the course that left you where you are right now? You fall in love, but then you get hurt, problems arise, conflicts start. Next thing you know, you get discarded or the relationship ends in a total disaster. There's two sides, two paths. So let's go down each of them. If you wish you never met them, you wouldn't become the person you are right now. Instead, you would become someone completely different. You probably would have fallen in love with someone else. Someone who maybe has the similar traits, similar issues, similar problems as that other person, that past partner. But again, as you never met that past partner and you've fallen in love with someone else, you go through those problems again, but with just a different face. Maybe it might be new problems, different problems even. But there are going to be similar ones that arise that are similar to the ones of the other partner. But again, as you never met that other partner, you go through them again, just with someone completely different. Or maybe you don't go with anyone. Rather, instead, you kind of just keep to yourself. But then again, who were you before you met them? Who were you before you met that person that changed your life? Were you someone that was happy? Or were you someone that was already facing conflict or challenges along the way before they flipped your world upside down and showed you what love was until it became a disaster? Would you have rather stayed the person you were before? And even then, who's to say they would change to become the person you are right now? They probably would have changed into becoming someone completely different. And when people say, I wish I never met them, it brings a thought to my head of, well, if you never met them, you wouldn't be who you are right now. And I probably wouldn't have known who you were or known this version of you. I would probably know the old version of you or an old version of you that changed to become someone completely different than you are right now. Or on the off chance you do fall in love with someone completely different and you find that perfect partner. But I highly doubt you would be able to find that. Instead, I think my theory stands is you would find someone that has the similar problems, issues, because you never went through them in the first place, just a different face. You would go through the conflicts again, just with a different face. It wouldn't be yours, it would be theirs. That would be completely different. They might have acted differently. They may even act similar as to that previous partner or that other past. It's safe to say you would still change, but who's to say whether to better or to worse? Maybe you would be hurting this other person. But now let's go to you let life take its course. Instead, you leave it where it was. You can't change a thing. You don't change it so that you never meet them. You instead leave it how it is. And you are where you are right now. It's better to have loved rather than not loved at all. It's a saying that goes by. And it's true. I believe in that. Because if you never loved at all, you wouldn't be where you are. This version of you right now wouldn't be who they are if it wasn't for that past, if it wasn't for that person, if it wasn't for the hurt. I vividly remember a year ago today, I would be waking up, and after I got discarded, it would be like a tight chest pain. Like if someone punched me really hard, very, very hard, and that pain didn't go away for, I would say, 2 weeks. It was hard. It felt bad. I remember I couldn't even cry anymore. It felt like I was just weak, defeated. It felt like someone was hurting me from the inside out. But yet even then I wouldn't have changed it. I wouldn't have been like, yeah, I wish I never met them. I haven't even ever said that, to be honest. I haven't ever said that about anyone that I've fallen in love with or anyone that I've ever met that has done me wrong. Because I know that in the end, I learned something from it. In the end, it makes me become better. I learn valuable lessons or life lessons from it. If I say I wish I never met them, and it happened, I wouldn't be where I'm at right now. Hell, I don't even know where I'd be. And when people say I wish I never met them, it's understandable because some people might have gotten hurt physically. Or sometimes the pain was just too unbearable. And I don't want to be like, you should say that you're glad you met them. You should say that you're glad that went through it all, because for some of us, it isn't good. It isn't good that you went through that. But in the end, you still became someone better. You still became someone that's going to become better. Or maybe it just happened. Maybe you just got discarded. Maybe the relationship just went to total disaster. It just went ablaze. But it's better to have went through those problems with that person than go through those problems with someone completely new, even though they have the similar problems, even though they have the similar traits, even though everything's kind of the similar, it's kind of resembles it. It's just a completely different face. Because you will face those problems, you will face those issues. But again, it might just be a completely different face. And I know I can't speak for everyone, but I'm going to speak to the few that I could say, be glad that you went through what you went through. And yes, it ends badly. And yes, you get hurt. And yes, it was terrible. The ending probably sucked. But you still went through the highs. You still went through the love. You still went through those lessons. You had issues with them, problems with them, but you solved them. Whether it was with them, whether it was after them, whatever it was, you still solved them. And maybe even right now, while by yourself, you think back to that relationship. You think back to the problems. You think to yourself, oh, this is where I messed up. Oh, this is where they messed up. I see where the issues lie. I need to fix this. That's great. Because in the end, that relationship did its job. You learned something from it. And during the time that you were in that relationship, you got something from it. You got love, but you also got lessons. You got life. You crossed paths with them. Your guys' paths intertwined. They became one. And even though in the end they separated, you still learned a lot. But if you never met them, you wouldn't be who you are. It's better to have loved and loved that person the most, even though it ended badly, but you still gave it your all, than to have never loved them at all, than to have completely changed your life, because you wouldn't be who you are today.